It's almost the holiday season, and a Christmas tree is a part of many family celebrations. What type of tree should you use? Some people prefer an artificial Christmas tree that they can reuse year after year. Others prefer to buy a real tree, either from a retail tree lot in town or selecting their own from a local Christmas tree farm. You can't beat the scent of a real tree, and buying a tree grown locally supports the local economy, and they are absolutely as fresh as you can get. What type of tree do you want? In Nebraska, the main choices are pines, firs, and spruces. Some people use eastern red cedar cut from their own land. Eastern red cedars may have a reddish cast in cold weather, and some have an unpleasant smell, nothing like the wonderful smell of fresh-cut pine or fir. Finally, these trees can dry out and drop needles quickly, in a few weeks. Still, it's one way of removing unwanted cedars from pastures and rangeland. Pine trees grown in Nebraska include Scotch, Austrian, and white pines. Both Scotch and Austrian pines have needles in clusters of 2. Austrian pines have needles about 4 to 6 inches long. Scotch pines have needles about 1.5 to 3 inches long. Scotch pine has excellent needle retention. White pines have 4 to 6 inch long needles in clusters of 5 that gives them a soft, fluffy look. As white pines are difficult to grow in a dry climate, you'll generally find them in the eastern part of the state. Firs have flat needles with white banding on the back and the conical traditional Christmas tree shape. All firs have good needle retention if watered properly. Douglas fir is the traditional type that older people may remember from their childhood. It has short needles and is very fragrant. Balsam fir and its cousin, the Fraser fir, are beautiful but not very adapted to Nebraska's climate. A newer variety of balsam fir with similar characteristics is the Canaan or Canaan fir. It seems to be more suited to Nebraska growing conditions than the balsam or Fraser fir. Finally, the concolor fir has needles that are flat, 2 to 3 inches in length, and a bluish-green color. Spruce trees include blue spruce, white spruce, and Norway spruce. The spruces typically have a conical shape. Needles are 1/2 to 1 inch long, sharp, and stiff, which makes them difficult to handle. However, many people love the silvery blue to green color of blue spruce. The Norway spruce has a wonderful fragrance. Spruces tend to drop their needles earlier than pines as they dry. Now that you know some of the types available, before you go out to buy a Christmas tree, decide where you're going to place it in your home. This will help you determine the height and the width of the tree. That means take a tape measure along. Another measurement to take is the diameter of your tree stand. You want to get a tree that will fit. Trees cut and purchased at Cut Your Own Tree Farms are obviously fresh. A list of tree farms in your area can be found at the Nebraska Christmas Tree Growers Association. The Nebraska Department of Agriculture has a list of tree farms at their Christmas Tree Grower web directory. If you buy from a commercial tree lot, ask if the trees are locally grown. Almost all trees sold in commercial tree lots are tinted green. Check for freshness with a few simple tests. Gently run your hand over a branch. The needles on a fresh tree will be pliable, while those on a dry tree will be brittle. Another test is to lift the tree by the trunk and lightly bounce the base on the ground. Heavy green needle drop indicates a dry tree. A fresh tree will drop only a few needles. Make sure the diameter of the trunk will fit your tree stand. Also look at the shape. A tree with a bare side may be fine if you want to set it in a corner or against a wall. When you get the tree home, place it in a cool, sheltered location such as a garage or shed if you aren't going to set it up immediately. Put the base of the tree in a bucket of water. Before bringing the tree in the house, saw off about 1/2 inch straight across from the bottom of the trunk. This will open clogged pores to help increase water uptake and keep the tree fresh. When you move the tree into the house, place and secure it in its stand and fill the stand with water. Check the water supply at least once a day and add water as needed. Remove the tree when it begins to dry and drop needles. And what to do with that old tree? Take off the ornaments and reuse it. You can set it out in your yard for wildlife habitat. If you have a pond on your land, you can put the tree in it for fish habitat. Some communities have drop-off sites, and trees are chipped and used as mulch or for trails. Most cut-your-own tree farms open right after Thanksgiving. Selecting a live Christmas tree can be a wonderful family tradition. If you haven't done it before, this might be your year to start. I'm Jan Hingstrom with the University of Nebraska Extension.